Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith. Today I am talking about Awful Awesome Horror Volume 1. This is by Jacob Gustafson. It says a journey through the wild world of so bad they're good movies. Basically, this is a list, a reviewer of reviews of so bad they're good movies, sort of. Now, it does have an introduction of how this came about, and there is also a little thing about how to host your own awful awesome night. The tips to having people over and showing so bad they're good movies, if that's the kind of thing you want to do. And then it just goes from there into an alphabetical list of, I don't know how many, a whole bunch of so bad they're good movies, except that some of them are not. Some of them in the book, the author says, are not good. They're not so bad they're good, they're just bad, and you should probably skip them. So that's a little weird that that's in a book about awful awesome, or awful awesome. Gotta watch my emphasis there. Awful awesome movies. But he does say, you got to be in the right mood. You got to have the right people to watch these things. So the entire thing has the movie poster, or sometimes it's VHS cover artwork on the left-hand side, and then the review, the synopsis and review on the right. So basically, it looks like that. So every single left-hand page, once you're past the introductory stuff, is the movie poster, and the right-hand side is the synopsis and review. It gives you the title, the year it came out, the running time, the director, and then it gets into, through the synopsis, it'll mention actors and things. And so there's some movies in here that I absolutely love. There are some that I watch because I do think they're so bad they're good. The first movie listed, Two-Headed Shark Attack. I've seen that a number of times. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, a classic. Let's see. Jump around. The Last Shark. House of the Dead. I can't stand that movie. I think it's horrible. I don't think it's so bad it's good. I've watched two versions of it. I watched the original theatrical version. Thought it was a horrible movie. And then it was re-released as like a director's cut with, because Uwe Boll allegedly said it was supposed to be a comedy, so it was re-edited, I think, and then they were like pop-up facts. So I was like, all right, I'll watch this again. Maybe I'll laugh this time. It'll be funny. No, it's still just a bad movie. But he says, I had a lot of fun with this flick. It's trashy, stupid, gory, action-packed, and most importantly, fun. I don't think it's fun. The Nest, classic killer cockroach movie. Suburban Sasquatch, Zombie Cop. So just tons and tons of movies in here. And it is volume 1, so I assume there's going to be a volume 2. And there's a movie in here called Things that he talks about. On the Ghost Writers podcast with Matt Wilderson, Summer Cannon, and Mary Sangiovanni, they have watched this movie, talked about it on their podcast, and I believe it's still a consensus from all three of them that it is the worst movie they have ever seen. It does not sound like they think it's so bad it's good. But yeah, Leprechaun in Space, as a matter of fact. Lavalantula. Leprechaun in Space, Leprechaun in the Hood. There's one franchise that has like 4 of the movies listed, I believe. So a lot of these I've seen and enjoyed in that so bad it's good way. And there's a lot that are on my list now, having gone through this book. It's a very Simple book. Again, he gives you a basic synopsis of the movie, gives you his thoughts, and occasionally says it's not worth your time. Robo Vampire. Oh, the Sharknadoes. Yeah, he goes through the first 4 Sharknadoes. So I don't know if the 5th one hadn't come out yet at the time he wrote this. But where did it go? Robo Vampires. There it is. We watched this movie on our a friend of mine hosts a bad movie night online. We watched this insane movie. And the director, apparently, I think this is the director that like buys movies and then films his own scenes and sort of mixes or does something. So it's just a mishmash of stuff. This has hopping vampires, a really low budget RoboCop kind of guy. There's drug dealers and a gorilla hopping vampire and this female ghost, and it's insane and I love it. So anyway, he also has actually I think the first book was an action, awful awesome action movies, and then there's a sci-fi one that I think is out. This one says it's coming soon, but I think it's actually out. I'm gonna pick both of those up. If volume 2 of this ever comes out, I will pick it up. Now I did give it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, simply because it's not the most in-depth reviews. I liked it. 3 out of 5 is I liked it. And it's a nice, if you're a fan of bad movies like I am, the greatest sin for a bad movie is to not be entertaining. So I like to watch a bad movie as long as I'm entertained by it. If I can laugh at it, whether I'm supposed to or not, if I can laugh at it, if I can watch it with people and we can just make fun of it and have a good time, I love it. So this is a nice little guide. As I said, I've seen quite a bit of what's in here, but there's also quite a bit I have not seen, so it makes a good list. Still haven't decided if I'm going to watch Things yet. But yeah, it's fun. If you're into that sort of thing, pick it up. No reason not to. Except, if you don't have the money. It's got Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. Classic, low budget, bad horror, fun movies. I dig them. So there you go. Awful awesome. I recommend it. I'm not giving it a super high recommendation. It's sort of a niche thing. If you're not into this kind of flick, you're not going to be into this kind of book. But it's my kind of thing. So there you go. That's what I have to say, I guess, about Awful Awesome. Let's have a question for this video. I'm doing this on a different night than I normally do, and I think it's throwing me off. Or maybe I'm just a little too hopped up on the nachos I just ate. Question for this video. I think it's pretty obvious what that question is going to be. How do you feel about so bad it's good movies? Or as this guy says, awful awesome movies. I've already shared my opinion. I dig them. I have watched like Troll 2. I've watched it a number of times. I've watched the documentary, excuse me, The Worst Movie Ever Made, I think is what it is, just simply called The Worst Movie Ever Made, Troll 2. It's just so ridiculously bad that I can't look away. The documentary is fascinating and kind of sad. Some of it's a little sad. Now that I have Riff Tracks channel on my new TV, I am seeing some gloriously awful awesome movies. So yeah, it's my thing. I dig it. It's not an everyday kind of thing. I still want actual good movies, of course. But I can get into this sort of thing. What do you think? Do you watch this sort of thing? Do you have the tolerance level for it? Can you look beyond the low budget and the bad acting and just sort of enjoy the ridiculousness of it? Or I know people that are just like, no, the special effects are horrible. The acting is stupid. None of this makes sense. Why would you waste your time with it? Well, because I'm having a good time. You know? But what are your feelings? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. I don't know what we would spoil here, but if you're going to post a spoiler warning, we try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That is all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.